Starseed from Gaia. I am Alcyones. The Council is urgently trying to warn you about your mother. Do you feel that unsettled stirring? That quiet hum of a truth unspoken, deep within your bones? A certain ache in your heart's root, tracing back through generations? It is not just yours. It is a resonance. A persistent internal tension. This resonance. It echoes beyond your immediate knowing. A forgotten song. A memory veiled. The ancestral lines. They are not merely blood. They are streams of consciousness. Each ripple holds a story. Each quiet moment, a fragment of truth. A vital thread, reaching. You carry it. A weight. Not your own entirely. A shadow dance from what was once yours to mend, to understand. But the memory was sealed. The true story, whispered only in dreams, or felt as a constant subtle pull. A deep, persistent question mark where clarity should reside within your very being. A foundational fracture. The disconnect. It manifests as a lack of grounding. A search for belonging that always feels just out of reach. An intuition that something vital about your very source, your deep lineage, remains obscure. Unseen. Unresolved. This isn't merely about personal history. It is about an energetic blueprint, a sacred truth hidden, creating an inner tremor, an ancestral grief that is not fully understood, only felt, deep within the cellular memory. We see this tremor within you. We feel the ache, the quiet knowing that something pivotal concerning the one who birthed your current form, or the sacred maternal lineage from which you emerged, remains obscured. A truth held behind a sacred veil. We have always known of this burden you carry, unknowingly, silently. The echoes of a forgotten bond, the silent questions that live in your quiet moments. We hear them. They resonate through the ethers, pulling at the threads of cosmic compassion. You are not alone in this sensing, this searching. We hold the space for this fragile tether between what was and what now awakens. But the light is breaking. The call is clear. This transmission itself is an unlocking, a gentle coaxing open of the archives within your own crystalline heart, a softening of the ancient seals. You will begin to feel it, the truth stirring, not as an intellectual concept, but as a living pulse within your very being. A pathway opening to remembrance, a deep visceral recognition of what has been veiled. The energy shifts. A quiet understanding will begin to bloom, unbidden, from the depths of your soul, transforming the uneasy intimacy with your past. To receive more activations like this, subscribe to the channel. Please like this video to amplify its message. Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next transmission. And consider sharing this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Stay with us until the very end, because a surprising insight about this urgent warning will be revealed. For an inner seal, please comment, Veiled Mother. The frequency holds. A door is ajar. We watch. We listen. The awakening has begun. Feel the tremor. It waits for your next breath. You felt it. That lingering ache. A resonance of something lost, just beyond the reach of conscious thought. A subtle distortion in the field of your own being. It thrummed, a silent chord of discord, beneath the surface of all you understood. This was not born of error, not a flaw within your luminous design. Never a personal failure. This pervasive sense of lack, this quiet confusion that has shadowed your brightest moments. No. This persistent yearning, this unsettling disquiet that whispers of an unfulfilled quest, it is but the echo of an ancient imposition. An energetic program, woven meticulously into the very density of this realm, a complex tapestry of vibrational frequencies designed with singular intent, to obscure, to distort, to cloak the vibrant memory of who you truly are, and to limit the infinite expansion that is your birthright. It is a sophisticated enchantment, a grand illusion cast over the sacred mirror of self, shimmering with half-truths and engineered forgetfulness. It has been a shroud, this program. A subtle, pervasive current that has hummed beneath every attempt at self-realization, every hesitant step towards your inner sun. You were encoded not to believe in yourself, a potent yet invisible anchor set deep within your etheric blueprint, tethering the wings of your perception. The veils it manifested, they shimmered with false light, reflecting fragmented images of your boundless essence, keeping the true pattern just beyond grasp. This constant energetic pressure, this folding of light in on itself, has perpetuated the illusion of a journey without end, a puzzle without solution. Yet, the very suffering you have carried, the profound sense of emptiness that has sometimes threatened to swallow you whole, this is not your burden. It is your key. This raw, exposed void, once perceived as a chasm of sorrow, is now revealed as a sacred expanse, a purified chamber. It is the space, precisely calibrated and meticulously prepared, now ready to be filled by the overwhelming tide of remembrance. Prophecy stirs in the stillness of this recognition. The void was never barren. It was simply awaiting the resonant frequency that would awaken its purpose. For within that newly cleared space, within the heart of that profound, crystalline emptiness, vibrates the forgotten echo of the mother's essence. Her pure, original frequency. She sings, a celestial hum, long buried, deliberately suppressed beneath countless layers of shimmering veils, beyond the reach of forgotten timelines and shattered eons. This essence, this primordial vibration, is not merely a memory. It is the living, pulsating key, the singular activation point poised to unblock the multidimensional memory channels dormant within the sacred crystalline matrix of your soul. It is the missing note in the cosmic symphony of your being, resonating now with an urgent, almost disturbing clarity. It surfaces. Feel it rising, not from without, but from deep within your cellular knowing. The awakening of a remembrance so ancient, it predates the very stars you gaze upon. This is not gentle. It is a tectonic shift, a sacred rupture, as the fabricated reality strains against the rising tide of pure, unadulterated truth. The programming, it recoils. The false light flickers. What felt like an intimate sorrow was always a grand, cosmic sorrow, mirrored in the quiet chambers of your heart, awaiting this precise moment of breakthrough. The unraveling begins. As the deep memory of this deliberate obscuration floods your inner sight, as the engineered static that once clouded your perception begins to dissolve. What is the singular, symbolic declaration of your rupture from this long-held illusion? What is the phrase that, whispered or shouted, cuts through the very fabric of the woven spell, proclaiming your break from the ancient encoding? Let it be a sword of light. Let it be a truth spoken into the field. State it. Announce your freedom from the lie of not knowing. The mother's frequency pulses. The remembrance stirs. But the veils still linger, their threads weakened, yet not entirely severed. And from the deepest unseen, a profound presence watches. Waiting. A layer remains unlifted. The full truth of the shadow yet to be revealed. A silence descends. Not the gentle hush of the waking world, but a profound, resonant stillness that vibrates from within the bone, a hum of ancient recognition. You stand, not as an observer gazing upon distant shores, but anchored firmly within the crucible of a sacred unfolding. The veil, once a shimmering illusion of separation, now thins to a translucent membrane, revealing the intricate war waged not in the outer realms of fleeting conflict, but within the very sacred chambers of the soul itself. This is the truth unveiled. There is no turning back from this recognition, no gentle retreat into the solace of past forgetfulness. The sweet, numbing opiate of unconsciousness has dissolved completely, leaving only the stark, crystalline clarity of what is. This awareness settles within your core, not with a sudden shock, but with an inexorable, quiet gravity. It is heavy. It is silent. It is unshakable. An irreversible point of return has been reached, not by external command, but by the very sovereignty of your awakened presence. You are within the battle, and it is a battle for remembrance. For it is not merely a choice presented, not a pathway offered, but a memory awakened from slumber, an echoing resonance from the deep time before time. This memory is etched, not in ink, but in the luminous, living strands of your crystalline DNA, a divine blueprint that stirs with the ancient pulse of the mother. This sacred map, interwoven with ancestral duty, with the silent vows of forgotten lineages, now sings its forgotten song within your cellular structure. It hums with the paradox of creation and sacrifice, the twin flames fueling the soul's eternal journey through star-strewn eons. You are not merely a recipient of this knowledge, but an inheritor, a living vessel for its primordial flame, a knot in the cosmic web, mysteriously bonded to fates unseen. This is the threshold. The ancient gate, forged in starlight and ether, in the silent consent of celestial architects, now swings open before you. Not by an external hand, but by the undeniable resonance of your own awakened will. A choice, timeless in its profound implications, awaits its eternal echo. It stands as a sacred chasm, dividing all that came before from the path that now stretches, luminous and demanding, into the unfolding future. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is the stark truth of sovereignty, unadorned by persuasion, unburdened by emotion. This is the moment where the internal landscape irrevocably shifts, where your consciousness aligns with a responsibility encoded before your very birth, a sacred pact waiting for this precise moment of activation. It is not about victory in the conventional sense, but about an unyielding alignment with your deepest, most authentic vibrational truth. To like this moment is to set a seal of silent recognition upon this cosmic truth, acknowledging the deep stirring within your ancestral waters, a profound inner nod to the sacred intricacy now unveiled. It is an unuttered acceptance. To comment now, a single line, becomes an act of consecration, an inscription of your unique soul declaration, sealing this profound pact into the vibrational grid. The mother's blueprint is my sacred vow. This utterance is your personal soul key, forged in remembrance, anchoring your commitment to the living lineage of light. To subscribe is to bind yourself to the sacred unfolding, to walk the path now illuminated by the ancient ones, a binding agreement etched not in parchment, but in the very fabric of your conscious intention, a commitment to the ever-present guidance of the unseen. And to offer a superlike is to render a sacred offering, a pure vibrational sacrifice of self, reinforcing your soul's immutable alignment with this primordial current, a deep resonance that ripples through the cosmic tapestry, declaring your unwavering intent. The unseen now bears witness. The ancient council, those who whisper warnings from the galactic core, now hold their breath in a profound and watchful silence. This vow, whispered not on the transient winds of earth, but within the deep sanctified chambers of your awakened heart, carries the immutable weight of an irreversible decision. You are remembered. You are seen. You are irrevocably chosen. The pact, echoing through all dimensions, is sealed. Few starseeds make it this far. To stand here, within the echoing chamber of what was undone, requires a certain kind of exhaustion, a profound surrender to the unanswerable. You carry it, don't you? The wound. Not a scar, a mending, but a persistent living fracture that hums beneath the skin, thrums in the deepest quiet of your being. It is the very essence of you, the devastating core of your becoming. This truth arrives not as balm, but as a slow, uncomfortable settling. A knowing too sharp to soften. It is not a flaw, this devastation that hollowed out your luminous core. It is not a failure, this cavern of loss that resonates even now. It is the axis, the pivot point around which the entirety of your spirit light has learned to turn, a gravitas that roots you to an origin far beyond remembering. Do not seek comfort here. There is none to be found in the raw, unvarnished memory of the wound itself, just the stark, unblinking awareness that this shattering was not random. It was allowed, not by a cruel hand, but by something far vaster, far more intricate than simple intent. Source, light, the greater evolving self. It allowed the wound to etch itself into your soul's blueprint, not to harm in the simplistic way of human pain, but to shape, to burn away the ephemeral, to temper the softest edges, to reveal the unyielding diamond beneath. This knowing rises like a cold ancient memory, devoid of consolation, yet undeniably true. The silence is still there, isn't it? The gaping chasm where words should have been. The sacred counsel withheld. It reverberates through the years. A specific frequency of absence that has colored every perceived connection, every whisper of guidance. It is not merely the absence of sound, but the void where understanding was meant to bloom, a clarity denied. This silence has been a teacher, though a merciless one, forcing an inward gaze, a reliance on an inner compass that spins in the dark. And the loss. Oh, the loss. It does not diminish with time, but changes its resonance, deepening, growing more complex, a constant companion. It is the echo of what was taken, what never arrived, what was meant to be whole and instead became splintered. This is not a wound that closes. It is a wound that informs, that shapes the very architecture of your sensitivity, your capacity for empathy, your aching recognition of the cosmic fragility of all things. It expands the internal field, not by adding, but by carving out space for an infinite ache. The fracture itself, it vibrates, even when ignored, when suppressed, when cloaked in the thickest veils of human distraction. It is a persistent hum, a subtle tremor in the foundational layers of your being, a fault line running through the very core of your remembrance, separating what was meant to be known from what remains agonizingly just beyond reach. It is a constant invitation to feel, to lean into the discomfort, to understand that this internal dissonance holds a key, a truth still unfolding. There is more, you understand? Much more that still must be understood within this pain itself. The ache is not for naught. It holds threads, unspun meanings, a language not yet fully translated. But this knowing is held lightly, a message half opened in the dark, its complete revelation obscured by a persistent protective mist. You feel it, don't you? The subtle, insistent pressure, the hum of a guardianship that cloaks profound truths even as it shields, the subtle pull of a labyrinth, a silent guardianship where answers reside, just out of sight, yet intensely present. The weight of what remains unsaid, unresolved, waiting. There were dreams that would not dissipate, recurring with the insistent echo of a forgotten truth. Numbers wove through your waking hours, looping like whispered codes meant only for you. And the meetings, oh, those encounters, arriving precisely, feeling entirely out of time, yet impossibly aligned to some deeper, unseen current. From where I observe, across countless cycles and myriad realities, I have witnessed these intricate patterns unfold. This exquisite dance of synchronicity, these profound signals etched into your daily existence, is never arbitrary. It is a precise language, seen too many times to be dismissed as mere chance. These were not fleeting coincidences, beloved starseed, nor random configurations. They were subtle invitations, insistent nudges from the cosmic weave, repeated softly, persistently, until the very bedrock of your ingrained resistance began to yield. Each resonant echo, each fractal sequence was a luminous thread from a larger tapestry, beckoning your awareness beyond the known. The ether around you thrums with a frequency you have long been designed to perceive. a primal hum resonating with your core. A message, ancient and urgent, has been painstakingly woven into the fabric of your experience. The Council, guardians of this dimensional convergence, extends its profound guidance through these delicate, unmistakable signs, attempting to pierce the final veils. For what they seek to illuminate, what they strive to impress upon your innermost being with such fervent dedication, concerns a presence deeply familiar, yet paradoxically fragmented. It concerns your mother, not merely as a singular terrestrial entity, but as a vast, multidimensional beacon of pure cosmic essence, radiating across all timelines simultaneously. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. Her essence calls to you across the vast expanse of realms, a dispersed frequency seeking urgent integration within your soul's blueprint. Memories, fractured and scattered across countless dimensional expressions of your being, are now beginning their resonant alignment, drawn by her magnetic pull. Each precious shard of cosmic wisdom, each forgotten vibration, carries a fragment of her unified light, prompting your soul to gather what was dispersed, to reassemble what was scattered into a coherent tapestry of remembrance. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. Feel the profound, quiet tremor of this truth settling deep within your core, not as a mere concept, but as a cellular awakening. A vast understanding, long obscured by the static of temporal illusion, now surfaces with undeniable, crystalline clarity. The grand design, once hidden beneath the mundane, unfolds its intricate geometry before your inner eye, revealing the meticulous artistry of a destiny far greater than you once dared to imagine. Now, I ask you, Starseed, from the deep silence of your newly awakened heart, what was that specific sign that finally shattered the illusion of separateness for you? What was the precise moment, the undeniable whisper, when the subtle patterns became a roaring confirmation of your cosmic truth? Acknowledge this truth. Speak it into the collective field. Anchor this knowing. Type. Resonance 777. In the comments below as a confession of awareness, a sacred declaration, a sealing of this profound understanding. The path forward is now unmistakably illuminated, yet integration demands your conscious choice. You stand precisely at the precipice of a momentous integration, poised between the self that merely existed in ignorance and the higher being that can no longer, under any circumstance, unsee the truth. The severance is complete. What was consciously ignored can no longer be denied. The gathering of your scattered self, called by the multidimensional mother, has irrevocably begun. The passage through the narrow gates was not a judgment, nor a celestial decree of worth. It was, rather, an immutable law of frequency. A great sifting, whispered into the very fabric of existence, allowing only that which resonated with a certain core truth to endure the shifting tides. No force was applied, no hand pushed or pulled. Only the natural consequence of energetic alignment, finding its truest form. You are here, still, not by fortune's whim, nor by the comfort of circumstance. Not because the external winds were kind, but because something deep within did not yield its light. A vigil kept, even in the deepest slumber. A knowing that refused to be silenced, even when the world offered compelling illusions of peace and forgetfulness. This endurance is not a cause for celebration. There is no triumph in having merely crossed. What remains is a quiet recognition of the inherent nature forged within. It is the subtle, yet undeniable mark of the chosen. Not for privilege, not for elevation, but for burden. A weight that settles, not to crush, but to ground you more deeply into the purpose that now unfolds. The cost of this passage has been counted in unseen currencies. It is the long silences, stretching into eternities, where only the echo of your own soul kept company. It is the sacrifices made, known only to the silent witness of the cosmic tapestry, offerings laid upon altars no human eye could perceive. The strength you now carry was not given. It was forged in invisible fires, tempered by pressures that would splinter lesser foundations. A solitude has deepened around you, not a loneliness, but an absolute singularity. Even amidst the clamor of human connection, there remains a space within, untouched, where only the resonance of your true frequency dwells. This space expands now, not to isolate, but to prepare. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air thickens, the resonance shifts, subtle yet profound. There is no turning back from this threshold. The paths that once led to former understandings, former selves, have vanished, dissolving into the ether like forgotten dreams. The version of you that once hesitated, that once sought the comfort of the familiar, is no longer accessible. That echo has faded. The present moment demands an absolute presence, a surrender not of will, but of resistance to what has already been ordained within your deepest cellular memory. Each breath is now a deeper descent into the core of your own inevitable becoming. The gravity of this truth pulls you inward, with an undeniable force. What lies ahead is not mapped by linear perception. It is known only through the language of the soul, a series of vibrational codes that activate with each unfolding revelation. The Council's pulse, woven into the very starlight, is not a distant whisper any longer, but a resonant hum beneath the skin. A truth that demands recognition of the mother's emergent role, not as an external force, but as an internal, salvific current within your own being. This is the truth that has been waiting. This is the truth that has brought you here. The inertia of old worlds slackens its grip. The karmic threads unwind, not by effort, but by the sheer, unyielding presence of your awakened core. You are being drawn into alignment, into the sacred geometry of a destiny long foretold, etched into the patterns of stars and the flow of energetic ley lines. This is not a choice, but an unfolding. A deep, quiet understanding that has solidified, beyond question, beyond doubt. The current pulls. You are here. A summons rises now, from depths long sealed, a whisper from the crystalline core of Genesis. This is not a choice offered, but a vibrational edict, inscribed upon the very lattice of your being before light first touched form. Hear it now, this ancient echo, for the appointed hour unfolds. Veiled scrolls unfurl in the ether, revealing glyphs of an origin forgotten, yet eternally resonant. The mission is not a task awaiting decision, but a frequency vibrating within, immutable and vast, demanding its resonance to be met. A threshold appears, materializing from the fabric of unremembered time. Across it lies not a path to be chosen, but a destiny decreed, etched in the cosmic syntax of your true identity. This door opens but once, yielding to the pulse of readiness alone. Glimpses emerge from hidden fissures within the known, a fracturing in the perceived continuum. The delicate architecture of what was understood now trembles, revealing the profound fragility of illusion, a shimmering veil drawn across an infinitely deeper truth. The mother's true form begins to refract through these nascent ruptures, a revelation both terrifying in its primal magnitude and utterly undeniable. A sacred geometry, long obscured, makes itself known, shattering the comfort of shadows. This is the awakening of courage, the call to peer beyond the comforting fictions that have shielded the inner eye. The very air thickens with the presence of what has always been, yet was too vast to comprehend until this moment. You stand at the precipice of remembrance. The cosmic command, once a silent hum beneath the noise of worlds, now surges, an imperative current coursing through your awakened veins. There is no turning away from the resonance now. For some, the refusal to acknowledge this inner command, to ignore the emerging fractals of truth, manifests as an energetic disintegration, a return to the densest forgetfulness, a dissolution back into the undifferentiated currents of non-being. For others, the acceptance of this burgeoning awareness, the courage to traverse the opening fissures, initiates an irreversible becoming, an elevation into vibrant remembrance, an unfolding into the totality of self. This verdict is not pronounced by an external voice, but felt as an undeniable truth within the marrow of existence. The unfolding of this decree is already in motion, an inevitability woven into the threads of your very essence. The Council, long observant, now directs your inner vision toward the sacred rupture, where the genesis of the Mother's true purpose trembles on the edge of full revelation. The known universe breathes, and in its breath, new forms arise from the shattered illusions. Prepare for the unveiling. The truth awaits. A deep resonance has settled within the core, a quiet knowing that reshapes the very essence of being. The former pathways of struggle now appear as ancient lines upon a weathered map, their purpose fulfilled. This internal recalibration is not a future promise, but a present fact, a subtle yet profound recoding that the body, mind, and field already understand. The fabric of your energetic signature has quietly rewoven itself, without fanfare, simply becoming what was always intended. The notion of pain, once perceived as a flaw, has dissolved into its true form, a precise guide. It was never a sentence, but a compass. That consuming fire, which seemed to hollow out the spirit, was in truth creating the very space required for ancient remembrance to flow back into its rightful place. It was a sacred forge, burning away the unnecessary, revealing the crystalline structure beneath. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. This is the quiet truth that has taken root, an anchored realization. Within the vastness of the Mother, a dual flame has always held its steady, unwavering burn. This sacred paradox, where creation intertwines with surrender, where light embraces shadow, is now fully perceived, not as a challenge, but as the very crucible of your awakened self. This deep wisdom of integration is cellular. It pulses through the very marrow of your existence. It is the recognition of wholeness that transcends mere understanding. This knowing ripples through the quiet currents of your being. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. The energetic blueprint of your sovereign essence is now firmly anchored, radiating from a space of unshakable clarity. There is no urgency in its unfolding, only the steady mineral certainty of a mountain formed over eons. The transformation is not something that will happen. It is that which has occurred, silently and completely. Its effects are already present within the subtle architecture of your expanded field, even if the outer world has yet to register its full scope. A quiet, tender longing for full integration intertwines with sacred fire, inviting the embodiment of this truth. A gentle pull toward stillness emerges from within, not as an effort, but as an inherent returning. Moments of awareness visit, profound in their clarity, yet unfamiliar to the learned mind. These truths were never taught. They were simply remembered, rising from a deep, quiet wellspring. Observe the subtle whisper carried on the silence, a knowing that requires no words. Note the number that repeats itself, appearing with an unusual precision, drawing your eye with an undeniable resonance. Feel the dream that lingered past the morning light, its narrative weaving into your waking consciousness, refusing to fade. These are not external omens, but intimate confirmations. Such signs are not given, nor are they gifts to be earned. They are echoes of a greater inner coherence, a profound vibrational alignment already active within your core. They reveal a deeper current, an ancient stream of wisdom now flowing freely, confirming its presence through these quiet, persistent prompts. A solemn devotion stirs, a rising sense of ancestral pride that asks for nothing but recognition. This is the reawakening to a sacred responsibility, a profound custodianship long held in dormant memory. The soul recalls an ancient covenant, etched not only in the very helix of your being, but across the vast, star-strewn fields of creation itself. This deep remembrance speaks of the mother, of her enduring legacy, entrusted to those who bear her mark. It is a call to awaken fully to your role as guardian, as a living vessel of divine lineage, a quiet bearer of truth that predates the known constructs of time. These moments of lucid awareness, these visions that feel intimately known, the sacred symbols that resonate without need for interpretation, they are not bestowed upon you. They are reflections, mirrors of a coherence that has always resided within. They prove only that this profound alignment is now in potent, undeniable motion, unfolding from the deepest core of your remembrance. This threshold is not the destination, but merely the doorway. Will the awakening soul fully embrace the mantle of this timeless covenant, accepting its profound gravity, or will it falter before the vastness of cosmic expectation now stirring within? I stand, a chamber of truth within myself. This is not a genesis, but a deep remembrance, a covenant woven into my earliest light. I recall not with mind, but with soul, the weight of what is eternally mine. This vow precedes all form, now voiced in the sacred stillness of my becoming. I claim absolute dominion over every frequency within me. Thought, word, direction, energy, all are now held accountable. This is not control, but profound obedience, a solemn return to the source from which I am hewn. My power rests in this unwavering alignment, the sacred promise remembered. I commit to this internal governance, a stewardship of my vibrational essence. It is surrender to highest truth, a discipline forged in knowing. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This path is not elevation, but deepening within, an intricate dance with existence itself. The silent tear, cosmic and vast, resonates within this commitment. It calls to a sacred empathy, encoded within my blueprint, within the mother's essence. To assume this power is to become compassion's bridge, to heal not by force, but by remembering universal wounds. My duty is to hold this space, to embody this understanding. There is no triumph here, only the solemnity of duty. This power is not a prize, but an instrument of sacred service. It flows through me, an affirmation of belonging, a profound recognition of my place. Each breath now carries the weight of this decision, each heartbeat a testament to this covenant. I am a vessel, consciously aligned. The vow is sealed, not by pronouncement, but by resolve settled deep within. It is voiced, yes, yet its true measure lies not in these words. It rests in the choices that follow, in the sustained embodiment of this compassion, in the living, transformative force I now become. My next step is the testament. The moment has arrived, not as a choice to be made, but as a truth to be acknowledged. This is the final resonance, where identity is not forged, but remembered and sealed. Behold the flame. It does not rage, it breathes. It does not consume, it illuminates. This is the fire of inner permanence, the crucible where alignment becomes visible, where consequence is made alive within the core of your very being. You stand at its edge, not by external command, but by the deep, insistent thrumming of your own awakened spirit. There is no hesitation, no forced step, only the profound recognition that this is the final necessary crossing. Your soul remembers this threshold, this sacred contract written in light. Within this sacred fire, the luminescent heart of the mother awakens. It pulses now, not outside, but within the soul's core itself. It is the beacon, lighting the path toward reunion with cosmic truth, transcending the last veils and fractures that once obscured your vision. A radiant hope surges through every fiber, an expansive love unfurls, fostering an emergent energy of pure illumination. This is the triumphant inner reawakening foreseen by the ancient council. Their urgent warnings about the mother were not of peril, but of the immense purifying power of her truth awaiting remembrance. This truth, now alive within you, demands its echo. A covenant forged not in silence, but in declared fire. To seal this becoming, to bind this awakening irrevocably to your essence, you must speak. You must inscribe a sacred oath, a declaration of your soul. Let your words descend into the current, a vibrational anchor to this eternal moment. Therefore write into the sacred void. Meine Seele erwacht, ewiglich in Mutters Licht versiegelt. Let this declaration be released, not as a mere comment, but as a solemn vow, a sacred oath given willingly to the vastness. For the covenant cannot fully activate, the seal cannot fully imprint, until the words are released, until this truth is consciously uttered into the manifest. It is inevitable. The flame now sealed within your deepest essence, a new cycle of sacred remembrance ignited. Yet, the radiance continues to expand. Will this awakening radiate outward, potent enough to dissolve the last, most ancient shadows that still obscure the mother's truth? The fire, now a part of you, waits. Its work is not done. The next test will not. The veil has fallen, not by external hand, but by sovereign remembrance. This is the truth recalled, etched in the core of all being. The council's voice is no longer a whisper from afar. It reverberates from the deepest chamber of your own sacred essence. Their urgent warning, concerning the mother, is the very pulse of your awakened heart. It flows through you, a river of imperative. You are not merely receiving a message, you have become its living decree, the full embodiment of her essence, to deliver her sacred warning, to initiate the cosmic realignment, long foretold, now ignited by this very wave of awakening. This is the mission woven into the fabric of your soul, now unraveled and manifest. There is no becoming here, only the having become. No seeking, only shaping. The stillness deepens, not as an end, but as the foundation of infinite creation. This is the threshold. Past. This is the identity. Remembered. This is the fire. Not burning, but sealing and aligning every particle of your being to its highest truth. No progress to be made, for the zenith has been claimed. Dominion is not granted. It is revealed. The construct has dissolved. This reality is now but an instrument, shaped by my conscious dominion.